Hey, everybody. It's your lovely Lotus Blossom Lizzie. And we are going to be continuing to work, or should I say, create in the December Daily Journal. But before I get started, I always like to suggest that if these are the type of videos that you love, and I know you do, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button because this is all junk journal related. And also hit the notification button so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out. You can also head over to our Junk Journal Buddies Facebook group, and the link is in the description below, and it's called Junk Journal Buddies. And then one more little tidbit for you. If you would like to see videos like this in real time and come and chat with me live, you can head over to the Patreon channel, and that's at patreon.com/Liz for a day. And there I am actually live streaming almost every day. So that is content that does not make it over to the YouTube channel. I just don't have room for it. And so, without further ado, let me tell you what I'm doing right here. So I got this cookie catalog in the mail, and I decided that I would keep it because it had such lovely Christmas colors in it. And sometimes you have to think out of the box when it comes to hunting and gathering for items that you want to put into your junk journal. So, what I was looking for was some images or some words that I could use, things that I thought would look really, really nice inside the book. Now, when I first looked at the catalog, I was like, it's just a bunch of Christmas cookies. But let me tell y'all, I was able to harvest quite a few bits and pieces from this catalog. And I actually still have some of the catalog left because, I recorded this a while ago. And I'm still using those bits and pieces. And they look absolutely wonderful in all the layouts that I'm actually doing. So don't discount your junk mail for, for beauty, because you can definitely use it, and it's inspiring as well. So I took this little pile of Christmas presents, and I wanted to kind of find some place for it because, y'all, this is how I work in real time. I just go through the book and see which page is going to speak to me, and then that's the page that is going to get the love for that moment because, my whole book, every inch of it gets love over time. So I decided to use some of my green distress ink to go around the package just to give it just a subtle frame because the cardstock that I used actually was green as well. And then I'm just using my good old stick glue, and of course this one is about out, but me being me, I'm trying to get as much of that out of there before I throw that tube away. And there's a lot of glue left in there. I'm still trying to figure out how to get it out without getting it all over my fingers and my hands, because y'all know I don't really like getting my fingers dirty, but more and more, that's just how things roll when it comes to doing things in the junk journal. So now I'm just cutting around here to give it kind of a nice outline. And that's all I really wanted with that cardstock, was to give this an outline, because this is going on some vellum. And of course the vellum has a very busy pattern on it. But y'all, I just been mixing and matching patterns like crazy in this book, and I'm quite enjoying it. And I think this is probably the only time I'll be able to do that and really just like let go and have fun. So I also decided I wanted to put a belly band in here and keep these words together because, you can split words up. You can also cut the letters out. So if you don't have letters that you can glue to pages and things and you would like it, you could definitely cut individual letters out from your junk mail as well. So again, I'm going around each piece with some distressed ink, and I'm using my green distressed ink here. And I did all the pieces that I felt were going to go on this page with the green. And that gives it a bit of cohesiveness, even though there's a lot going on here. And believe it or not, I did not take out my sewing machine. So I know that is so hard to believe, but I didn't take out my sewing machine to do this part. And I just only use glue. So you can see, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can still have beauty on your pages. You know, the sewing machine is just so much more fun. And so I'm using some double stick tape here to tape down my edges for my belly band here. And I'm using my Cricut weeding tool to actually just rub that tape in, make sure everything's sticking good. And then you can see, voila, I have a belly band now. And it looks quite nice. And now I want to put these little pieces of Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday on this page too. Because y'all, I don't know what it is. I just feel the need to fill like every little nook and cranny of my pages with stuff. I'm trying not to overdo it, but y'all, that's just me. That's just me. I can't help it. You have to do what's right for you. When you watch other people's processes, when they do their journal, they're really doing things that speak to them, and they're not just doing it for you to see. And so when you do pick up some ideas, you want to kind of adapt those ideas that fit like your aesthetics. So you can pick up a few things from me, you can pick up a few things from somebody else, and kind of make it your own and run with it. So I'm taking my gold uniball pen and I'm making some faux stitching on here, which looks quite lovely, I have to say. And of course, I did take out my heat gun to set my gold pen because y'all know that's just like paint coming out of there. It's even a thicker paint than some of the other paint pens that I have. So I always hit it with some heat so it will dry before I go on to my next piece of the project, so to speak. So now I'm just using a circle punch, and I believe the circle punch is 1 inch. And I did quite a few punches. What I decided to do, which you'll see in a moment, is I wanted to have a Christmas countdown page. And you probably saw in the previous videos that I already started that, but I just kind of did the Christmas countdown page a little bit at a time. And so I'm just doing just enough circles in here for me to kind of work with for this particular session. And I wanted to do lots of different colors and combinations, and nothing kind of matches, but it does kind of match, if that makes sense to you, because of the colors. So here are some of the ornaments that I did already. I'm going to make this into ornaments, and I took out my Sharpie fine tip pens, and then I put most of them away because they're kind of stuffed in that container, and so I have to pull them all out to get the actual colors that I want. So as you can see, I made a mistake, but is it a mistake? There are no mistakes in junk journaling. I keep trying to tell y'all. There's only creative fixes. And so I just turned that piece over and reused it because it's going to get glued down to the paper anyway. So I took the different pieces, or not pieces, but different colors, and I tried them on the different colored cardstock as well. And I tried this like kind of limey kind of green on this red, and it just didn't really work out. You know, on the color wheel, green and red make brown, and I don't want brown. So I used a darker green to go over that number 12. And yes, it looks like number 72, but I assure you that that is a 12. It's a 12 because in my mind, that's what I was trying to write, a 12. So next I took some embroidery floss, and I took out my We Are Memory Keepers Big Bite as well. And I'm going to put a list of the things that I use into the description. So if it's something that you're looking for, you'll be able to find it as well. These are some of my go-to tools that I use, so I definitely would recommend them. And I had no real intentions with the strings that I'm putting onto my ornaments. I just wanted some strings on there. They're not going to hold anything on. They are not functional at all. They are purely decorative, and I just like the texture that the strings add to the page because I'm a texture kind of girl. I like all of the strings kind of flying all over the place. It just kind of made me happy, y'all. It made me happy. So now I am using my purple glue again, and I'm just going to put my number on for that day. At this time, it was 15 days till Christmas. And then I took out my gold unipen, my gold uniball pen, and commenced to giving my numbers some dots, and that kind of gave my ornaments some cohesiveness as well. And then moving right along, I had some blank white pages, which I never mind having blank white pages in my journals because that means, y'all, it's a free for all on those pages. I can just do whatever I want to. So, what I decided to do was use some napkins. So, I had some Christmas napkins, and this is actually a technique that I've never done in any of my journals, and I wanted to try to do this. And I don't think I was inspired by anyone to do it except for the fact that that day I went to the store and got some napkins and I wanted to use them some kind of way. And this was an easy way to use them and get my napkin fix on. Now, I'm adhering this of the lazy man's don't care if you get wrinkles kind of way. And I just put down some of my purple glue, which again works very perfectly. And I can assure you that this is not going to come off. So I know lots of people think they need to use like Mod Podge on their papers. And if you want like a slick surface, that would be good too. But I like the bubbliness and the wrinkle, not bubbliness, but the wrinkles in the paper. I just made sure that I had glue over the whole surface so I wouldn't get any bubbles. But I wasn't so worried about getting the paper so flat that it didn't have wrinkles. So I hope that makes sense. So what I did was I took out my brush pens that I normally use for watercoloring. So they already had the water in them. All I had to do was take the cap off and get to using it. And that's how I ripped the actual napkin so they wouldn't go across the spine or the inner part of the paper. And then I just turned it over and I glued the back of it to the back of the page. And then I took my heat gun because now the edges of my pages were a little wet and I wanted them to be dry, so I can continue on. And that worked out really well. And I know that was a mouthful and I know this is going really fast. But again, if you want to see it in slow-mo, or not really slow-mo, but in real time, you can head over to the Patreon channel over at patreon.com/Liz for a day. And you can see this in real time as well. So I'm just picking some of the pieces off of here because I felt like, I don't know why, I felt like it was a little sloppy, but I'm going to cover it up anyway. So that just totally didn't make any sense. And then I decided to use some washi tape because I'm trying to use my washi tape as much as I can, especially my Christmas washi tape because I'm not going to get to use that throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? So I only put it where the card was, and then I was thinking, Lizzie, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right. Let's go ahead and put a little tape at the top, a little tape at the bottom. And the way the washi tape was made, like nobody but us will ever know that that wasn't one continuous piece. So now I'm using a different napkin, but it kind of coordinates with the other one. And it has this beautiful Christmas reindeer or just deer or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or whatever. And yeah, I put that glue over the top of the fabric tab as well. And it actually stuck down. The napkin stuck down really well to it. So I was kind of proud of myself for doing that. Again, I put this on the lazy man's. I don't care if there is wrinkles kind of way. And you can kind of see the wrinkles. But again, because I like the texture and I knew I would probably be covering most of this up anyway, I wasn't really worried about that. This is like a de-stress way to put down a napkin. And again, it's going to stick just fine. And I use my brayer to kind of put things down, but you can really just use your hand and run it across the napkin and it will be okay. So I'm using my water. You can see I put down a lot of water on that one and it just tears right off. So that's kind of perfect. The more water you put on there, the easier it is to kind of do this technique and you don't really have to use any scissors unless you want to kind of just really clean things up a little bit. But I wasn't really too worried about the little bits and pieces hanging over the edge, but I do give it a little bit of a haircut in a bit. So you can see here, this part down here was kind of short, so I didn't have a lot to work with when it came to the water, so I just went ahead and used my scissors to cut that off. So there's a few ways that you can actually get the extra paper off. And of course the water is a great way, and then you can use your scissors. And I decided to leave that right side, just let it hang over, because I like hanging over stuff too on my journal. So here's some more glue. I decided to use my scraps that I ripped off. I said I'm going to use those scraps. And I didn't really have enough to cover the whole page. So I took the washi tape out, which I'm kind of glad that I did. But once I used the washi tape, I was like, this looks a little sloppy. It looks a little sloppy. It looks a little mismatched. It looks a bit unbalanced. So I had to kind of think of a way to kind of balance that page off, but not before I kind of give things a little bit of a trim. So I took out some more washi tape because, I'm a washi tape kind of girl, so that's what I did. And I have a lot of it. And so I have all my Christmas washi tape in this plastic bag. But someone asked me if I store my washi tape in a bag so that it will stay good, and the answer is no. I only have it in this bag because I'm trying to keep my Christmas stuff together, and I haven't really figured out a storage solution for all of the Christmas items. The bits and pieces of ribbon and fabric and papers and washi tapes and all kinds of stuff that I had hither and there around my studio. So now I'm trying to gather things up so that, I can find things basically. So I am also using that same washi tape on this side as well, just for some balance also, and also to give the page a little bit of a frame. And I'm glad that I did that. It worked out really, really well. So these are the pages that we did today, and I like running my hands over the pages, y'all, because I like that wrinkliness, and I love the way it came out. These are some of my favorite backgrounds that I was able to do. And then, of course, on the front page, I love looking at that page as well. And at this moment, this is how fat my book is getting already. So if you love this video, if you love junk journaling, please make sure you subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up. We're trying to get this video to 1,000 thumbs up. Good luck with that one, Lizzie. So with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease. From your sweet and lovable Lotus Blossom Lizzie, have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.